to trade our house, and we may have to move away.
What? Move away for good?
I'm just sick about it.
Oh, Blanche, Harry can't do that.
Oh, that Harry.
Oh, he should be ashamed of himself. Men like him should be horsewhipped, and if I had a horse, I'd do it.
Oh, honey, I feel just awful.
Oh, Blanche, you can't move away. We're not just neighbors. We're both our very dearest friends.
I know.
Would you like some coffee?
Yeah, please.
George, would you bring some coffee out, please?
Okay.
Anyway, Harry says the trade is practically set with a Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson likes our house, and he wants it for his wife.
Oh, well, that's no trade. Why would Harry want this man's wife when he's already got one?
No, honey. Harry wants to trade our house for Mr. Johnson's on Roxbury Place.
Roxbury Place? Well, that's almost a mile from here. I'd have to take a cab to borrow a cup of sugar.
I'm just sick when I think of moving.
Me too.
Well, here's your coffee.
Oh, thank you.
Gracie, I noticed the phone off the hook. Why is that?
Oh, yes. Ed Sullivan just phoned us from New York. He wants us to go on his show, The Toast of the Town.
Well, why is it off the hook?
Well, he said we didn't have to give him an answer until next Wednesday. Oh, now, where were we? Oh, yes, Blanche. We've got to stop Harry from trading his house.
Well, I doubt if we can. But anyway, we have such happy memories. Remember when we first moved in here?
Oh, yes. Oh, George, would you bring out some sugar?
Okay.
Gee, I wish I could make Harry change his mind. But he says the Johnson's place is worth much more than ours, and so... What kind of jelly is that, Gracie?
It's crabapple jelly. I made it myself.
Oh?
Are you sure there's nothing we can do about Harry?
Oh, I'm positive.
Well, then there's only one thing to do. We'll trade our house and move next door to you.
Oh, Gracie, no, George would never consider it. He loves it here. Give up.
Oh, give up. We can't give up. Great women don't do that. Look at Betsy Ross and Martha Washington. They didn't give up. And look at Nina Jones.
Nina Jones?
I never heard of her either because she gave up.
Gracie, are you sure this is crabapple jelly?
Oh, sure. I use the best crabs and best apples I can get.
You know, Gracie, I'm really going to miss you.
Well, now to go to work on George. George Burns, never mind that sugar. It won't do you any good. We're trading our house, and let's not have a big argument about it. George, having an argument about a trifle like trading a house.
She's really letting me have it. Now she wants to trade the house. I shall say nothing doing, and this time I'm putting my foot down. Of course, I'll have to raise it when the moving men take the rug. I don't want to trade the house. I like our house. I like the neighborhood. I like the people. We've been living here 14 years. When I walk down the street, everybody says hello to me. Even Mrs. Bagley's dog wags his tail while he's biting me. I'm staying right here. At my age, I'm not breaking in a new dog. Like our neighbors, too, the Mortons. They're friendly and nice. I'll admit that sometimes I get a feeling that Blanche Morton doesn't like my singing. She never comes right out and says so. It's the little things she does. Like stepping on my ukulele and smashing it. She said it was an accident, and I believe her. She always walks around on the mantelpiece. And Harry is a wonderful neighbor if you can afford him. He loves home cooking. In anybody's home. Another reason I hate to move, I did so much of it when I was a kid. We were always moving to get rid of nosy landlords. They always wanted to know when we would pay our rent. I'll never forget once we couldn't pay our electric bill. So my brother plugged our lights into an electric sign right outside our window. The kind that flashes on and off. And that night, my father got dressed and undressed about 400 times. Anyway, I'm not moving. But even if we were, I'm sure Gracie would make a great trade. She's very shrewd. Do you know that she once traded her diamond ring for a $1 watch? She figured that way if somebody robbed her, she wouldn't be out anything. She comes from a family of traders. Her uncle once went to the market to trade a donkey. 3 hours later, the donkey came back with an umbrella in its mouth. Well, I'm not trading, and I'm not moving.
See, I've got an idea that'll keep Blanche from moving.
How?
Well, it's simple. Look, I'll just tell Harry Morton that I'm an old friend of the Johnsons. I had dinner with them last night, and that their house is a broken-down mess.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea.
Sure.
Harry, will you dry the rest of these dishes while you tell me about it?
Gracie, these dishes are already dry.
Harry, I'm upset, remember?
Yeah. Well, anyway, when I get through telling Harry Morton what a lemon that Johnson house is, he'll never make the trade.
Blanche, I'm sorry I'm late for lunch.
Oh, Harry, I just didn't feel up to preparing anything today. So why don't you stop at the drugstore and have a few hamburgers, huh?
I already did that. That's why I'm late.
Go look in the refrigerator.
All right. What's wrong with you today?
Well, it's this moving thing. You know how close Gracie and I have been for 12 years. It's quite a problem.
I have a perfect solution for it. Just don't give her our new address.
You're so understanding. Why do we have to move?
Because I'm getting a wonderful deal. Look, there's no bread out there. I want to make some sandwiches.
I'm sorry, Harry. I just didn't shop today.
Oh, well, that's all right.
A nice sandwich. Liverwurst, bologna ham on liverwurst. Look, Harry, if we move, we'll be leaving George and Gracie, and they're our most wonderful friends. We eat their food, we use their pool. Do you want to lose their friendship?
Of course not. We'll come back and eat their food and use their pool every weekend.
Always thinking of yourself.
Hello, Martin. Is anybody home?
Oh, in here, Mr. Bonzell.
Hi, Mrs. Morton.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always seem to come in when Harry's eating.
Oh, you know, if you came in at 4 o'clock in the morning, you could still say that. I'll get you a cup of coffee.
Oh, well, don't bother.
Sit down, Harry.
Thanks.
You had lunch?
No.
Well, as soon as we finish this, we'll go down and get a couple of hamburgers.
No, thanks just the same, Harry, but I think I'll skip lunch. I had dinner with some friends last night, and the plaster kept falling off the ceiling. First time I ever had tomato soup with plaster in it.
Introduce me to your friends, and I'll sell them a good house.
People by the name of Johnson. They live over on Roxbury Place. Oh, thank you. Anyway, it seems that the plaster was loose because the roof leaks.
Harry, just a minute. Johnson's at 617 Roxbury Place?
Yeah, that's right. My coffee is good.
This is the house with the sunken living room?
Yeah. Of course, the living room's only been sunken since the termites ate the floor beam.
There's something Gracie said this morning about Nina Jones.
Anyway, one nice thing about this place, whatever else is wrong with it, the pipes will never leak. They can't. They're all clogged up.
I'm going over there and have a talk with that Johnson.
Oh, look, Harry, you're wasting your time. You'd have to be a genius to find anybody to buy that house. No sucker would buy it.
Oh, well, now, please, don't underestimate Harry Morton. He's already found one.
Well, that sucker hasn't closed the deal, and he's not about...
Gracie, I've got wonderful news. We're not moving.
Oh, isn't that wonderful? Now, Harry, you don't have to put on that act about the Johnson house.
Well, we are trading, and we are moving.
Oh,
Mr. Duffy.
He's a lawyer. You see, Harry Morton has no right to trade their house if Blanche doesn't want to. And so I sent for Mr. Duffy. There must be some way to stop him.
Gracie, will you leave the Mortons alone? You can't straighten out other people's business.
George, how can you say that? I've been doing it for years.
Remember what happened to the Bagleys across the street?
Sure. Mr. Bagley came home when Clara Bagley was kissing a man, so I explained it to him. I said, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody kisses a bride.
But Clara Bagley wasn't a bride. She'd been married for 6 years.
Yeah, but this man didn't know that. He only brings the laundry.
Gracie, this time let the Mortons straighten out their own business. Yes?
Oh, how do you do? I'm Mr. Duffy.
I'm Mr. Burns.
How do you do, Mr. Burns? Your wife sent for me. I'm a lawyer.
Oh, well, it's really nothing, Mr. Duffy. You see, my wife is a little, she's kind of, well, she'll ask questions that you can't answer.
Well, let me be the judge of that, eh?
Well, I'd forget it, Mr. Duffy. There's been a little mistake.
Mr. Burns, if people didn't make little mistakes, they wouldn't need lawyers.
After that last line, I think you deserve to meet her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Duffy, this is Mrs. Burns.
How do you do?
How do you do, Mrs. Burns?
And Mr. Duffy, if you need me, I'll be in the next room.
Oh, give me your hat. Won't you sit down? Oh, don't worry about my husband. He doesn't know any more about law than you do.
Thank you. Now, Mrs. Burns, you said you had a problem.
Oh, yes. Now, if a married couple have a nice house and the husband wants to trade it, but the wife doesn't, can the husband do that?
Oh, so that's why he didn't want me to talk to you.
No, don't change the subject. Can the husband do that?
Well, that all depends. Who owns this home? I mean, is it community property?
No, it belongs to the husband and wife.
No. Community property means that it belongs to both parties.
Well, how about that? No, you answer my question first, and then I'll answer yours.
What is your question?
Can the husband do that, remember?
Oh, yes.
He can?
No, I don't mean that he can. Maybe he can't. Maybe he can. I'm not sure.
Are you sure you're a lawyer?
I thought I wasn't. Now, let me put it this way. I once had a client who was married to a very rich woman. Well, they got into an argument concerning the division of their community property. Well, she shot him, and I advised him to sue for damages.
Oh, well, you were silly. Wasn't he damaged enough after she shot him?
Sure.
Well, let's get back to our problem. Now, we wouldn't want to shoot Harry.
No, of course we wouldn't want to shoot Harry. Why don't you go and get him?
All right, I will.
Why on earth should we want to shoot Harry? We should shoot Harry.
Blanche!
Yes, Gracie?
Blanche, is Harry there? Uh-huh. Well, would you send him in? Mr. Duffy wants to see him.
Gracie, wait a minute. Who's Mr. Duffy?
Well, I haven't time to tell you now, but he's that rich woman who shot her husband's lawyer.
I shoot anybody. Very nice person.
Duffy, if you need the aspirin, they're in the drawer.
I just sent your wife for you.
It's too late. You asked for it.
But Harry, please, I need help.
Harry? It's too late for the aspirin, too.
Now, where were we?
Oh, Mrs. Burns, I have a feeling that you don't need a lawyer. I think that this matter can be settled amicably between you and Harry.
Oh?
Remember, you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
Mr. Duffy, I didn't hire a lawyer to tell me how to catch flies. I want to keep Harry from trading his house.
Well, this will do it. You can make a man do anything you want by being sweet and affectionate.
Really?
Of course, a big hug, a nice warm kiss. That'll do the trick.
Oh? Well, all right, if you say so.
Say, Gracie, Blanche said...
Oh. Now you won't trade the house, will you, Harry?
I'm going to get out of this neighborhood if I have to give the house away.
Well, so you call yourself a lawyer? Oh, if I had that horse, you'd get a whipping you'd never forget.
Goodbye, Mrs. Burns.
You forgot your hat, Mr. Duffy. Oh, well, he'll be back for it. What did you want to see me about?
They're delicious.
Huh?
That's for the cookies.
Uh-huh. Well, I'll have to give it to Mr. Delhaven. He bakes them.
Give them two. They're my favorites. Gracie, why did you invite Mrs. Johnson here for tea?
Well, if she's got to be our new neighbor, I thought I might as well get acquainted with her.
So then you're not going to stop Blanche from moving?
No, I give up. I'm like Nina Jones.
Nina Jones? Who's she?
She's the woman Blanche never heard of.
I'll have another cookie.
I'm gonna miss Blanche. You don't know what it is to be friendly with a woman for 12 years.
Oh, yes, I do. I've been friendly with a woman for 25 years. She's very sweet.
Oh. Well, even if she is, you shouldn't compliment her in front of me.
Gracie, I meant that for you.
Oh, thank you. Where was she come from?
From time to time in every clime, blessings come from above. Some name, come in. And others fame, while others are lucky.
Hello, George.
Well, hello, Jane. What brings you here?
Well, I don't know exactly. Must be something for your television show. Gracie phoned my agent.
A show?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've got no animal noises, no screams, no motor sounds.
Say, I did a car motor 3 weeks ago on Suspense. Must have been great. I got a fan letter from a garage mechanic.
Well, that was a nice compliment. Sit down, Jane.
Thanks.
Gracie, Gina's
Oh, George,
Yeah.
I've added something new to my repertoire. Maybe you can use it.
Well, it's very good. I'll speak to my writers.
Here's the same baby with the colic.
George, that was very pretty. You haven't sung that one in a long time.
I've got some screams I want you to hear that are beauties. I'll close the window.
No, not now, Gene, not now.
Well, one of them is so terrific it even frightens me.
Look, Gene, you might wake up the Mortons. See,
Hello, Jean.
Hello, Gracie.
Gracie, you phoned Gene. What's it all about?
I can't tell you.
You mean it's a secret?
No, I know it. Come on, Jean.
Gracie's up to something.
You must be Mrs. Johnson.
Yes, and you're Mrs. Burns. It's so nice of you to ask me here for tea.
Well, I'll serve it here if you want me to, but it's much more comfortable inside. Come on in. Won't you sit down, Mrs. Johnson? George!
Yeah?
Come on in and meet Mrs. Johnson.
Okay.
And will you bring in the tea with you?
All right.
Well, you have a lovely home here, Mrs.
Oh,
Burns.
thank you.
Did you build it?
No, we bought it. I'm not very handy with tools.
Well, here's the tea.
Oh, this is my husband. George, I want you to meet Mrs. Johnson. She's going to be our new next-door neighbor.
Hello, Mrs. Johnson.
How do you do?
Well, now, up for.
There you are. Mrs. Johnson, would you like a cookie?
Thank you.
And if you like them, don't kiss George, kiss Mr. Delhaven.
It's a little family joke.
Well, I know that you're going to love it here in this neighborhood, Mrs. Johnson. By the way, that's a very pretty suit you're wearing. What's the matter? It's too hot?
Maybe so too sweet.
What was that unearthly scream?
Oh, that's my sister, Bessie. We've kept her down in the cellar now for 4 years.
No, thank you.
You're not eating your cookie.
Yeah, your cookie is getting cold.
Your sister, is there anything wrong with her?
Why did you ask that?
Yeah. Why?
I mean, Why do you keep her down in the basement?
Oh, well, you see, she has high blood pressure. And when we keep her down there in the basement, it doesn't seem so high, it's lower.
It's good for her nerves, too. Sounds like Bessie's voice kind of changed.
Don't mind him. It's Bessie milking that poor cow again, and she hates it.
The cow or Bessie?
The cow. You see, Bessie used to be a banana picker, and every time she milks the cow, she pulls a little too hard.
She can't break herself of the habit.
Well, every family has a problem. Anyway, Mrs. Burns, you must come to my house for tea after we moved in.
Oh? You still gonna move in?
Oh, yes. The Morton house in this neighborhood are so lovely, I just couldn't give it up.
Well, nice try, Gracie.
Goodbye, Mrs. Johnson.
Goodbye, Mr. Burns.
Goodbye, Bessie.
Mrs. Burns, I think I know why you've been putting on this little show for me. But I like the Morton house in this neighborhood so much, I'd move in even if it were next door to a boiler factory. And besides... What's that?
Oh, that's my husband singing. He sings all the time. He loves it.
Singing? I wouldn't live next door to that if they gave me the house for nothing. Goodbye.
Jonathan.
Now I'm going to stay. Come your little side.
It's a wonderful news.
Coming up, You Bet Your Life. It's the Best of Groucho.
And Thursday night